My mom, Vicki Powers, she's a bus operator at Topeka Metro. She was driving her bus en route that day and saw a vehicle with a man pointing a gun at a woman in a parking lot. So she radioed it into dispatch.
I was at lunch, but I sit in my office at lunch on my lunch break, and Vicki came over the radio and said that there was a man holding a gun to a woman's stomach at a certain bus stop. And when I heard this, I immediately got on the phone and called 911 to get police rolling.
Dee did pick up the phone. She called 911, and that's a normal occurrence with us. We call things that we see on the street, and because we know we are the eyes and ears on the street, and so she called it in. But Josh had heard the message, heard the location, and he was nearby.
I was out installing bus stop signs, and I was down on the boulevard, and I heard Vicki come over the radio that she saw a guy with a gun at the Genesis Health Club parking lot, which is about 2 blocks away from where I was. So went over there pretty quick. When I arrived, there was a gray car that was leaving and a green car that was about a half a block up. So the gray car, I stopped and asked if she was okay. She was visually shaken. She was an older woman. And she said yeah, and said that he had a gun and had pointed at her and her daughter. And I said, okay, I've already called dispatch, who's calling police. I just decided to follow him and was in constant contact with Dee, letting her know where I was.
Well, I was on the radio with Vicki, then I was on the radio with Josh. I was relaying what they were telling me to PD that was on the other end, or their dispatcher that was relaying to their police officers where to go and what to look for.
I followed them to Quincy and Independence, and they turned right. And I'd always had about a block behind me. So I kind of went and parked my vehicle so that I thought maybe he'd think I was working or whatever. And then when he got kind of out of range, I got back in, and he was still about a block and a half ahead of me. And he got out and threw his arms up, and like he wanted me to get out of my truck. And the time he raised his hand and turned back around, there was police behind him. They got him over to the vehicle and handcuffed him and put him in the car. I stuck around. The mom came back around, and she was pretty upset about the whole thing. She said that he had jumped on the car. They were going to leave. He jumped on the car and pulled the pistol out and pointed at her and said he was going to blow her head off. And so she stopped, and he had pointed it at his daughter too, at her daughter.
And then you just went back to work?
I just went back to work, put some signs in, and went back to the shop.
There's different types of heroes, and I think what we most don't recognize is those heroes that go about their job every day, and then something happens and they do the right thing.
My wife she's like, you did a good thing, but that was stupid. To me, it was having 4 daughters. It's about, if anyone did that to my daughters, I would be pretty upset. I'm just a guy that was in the right place at the right time, and I'm far from a hero, but I appreciate the recognition.